Meet Natalie. Natalie loves books.
This is your brain on books. Any questions? And this is Angela. She's a very serious jazz singer.
Shooby-dooby-dooby-doop-doop-doo. And sure, we both like to stay informed, but this world sometimes, am I right? You know what we need? 30 minutes of meditation.
Pop culture meditation.
So we're here to remind you.
We get it. You're smart. But right now, take a deep breath and put your books down.
Natalie.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Ooh,
Hello.
hey.
Hey.
What you doing?
Ooh.
What's up with you? Hey.
How you doing? It
Are
is.
you asking for real or is that like a line?
Oh no, I want to know how you're doing.
Oh, I'm good.
Oh, is that it?
Et toi?
You good? Oh, are you speaking French now?
Why?
Why? Because I was just singing the French national anthem, which is kind of funny. Maybe we've gotten a little French in flavor today. It is too hot in the United States. It needs to cool down.
Yep.
I'm tired of it being hot.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much.
Yep.
I mean, I know it's like the most boring conversation for everybody to be like, oh, so how's the weather? But honestly, like it's too hot.
Well, it's just too damn hot.
I just want to sit in my house and just watch things and not go outside. I have weeds in the front of my house that need to be pulled, and I can't do it.
I mean, I have my house so cold that my nose is freezing and I constantly have to wear hoodies in my house, but it still feels better than being outside.
Right. You have like icicles growing off your face, like off your nose,
I have a
off your
constant
chin
little
hairs.
sniffle because it's freezing in my house. My feet are purple, but you know what?
Yes.
Pick your battles.
That's right. Absolutely.
Pick your battles.
Absolutely. Well, that's good. I've been, busy, doing a lot of teaching. I had a student today. She was fantastic. She came to my house and we did all these fun things, and then she sang, and I put on the microphone in the house and she sang, and it was so fun. It was like a little show for me. I know. I love teaching jazz singing. It's really fun. I love what I do. Anyway,
I love
today, don't you love that for me?
Mm-hmm. I do.
I love that. I love that for you.
You're cute. Go ahead.
Okay. So today we're talking about, I don't know, how do I say what the topic is of this without like gently?
Movies that
Go ahead and say
provided either like trauma, PTSD, movies that kind of messed us up permanently.
I think that when we were talking about this on text, the title was Movies That Permanently Fucked Us Up. Sorry, Darren. Make a note.
That's a good one. It's a good
248.
But that's what this is. And I'm really hoping that as this will have some darkness into this podcast, I'm really hopeful that this provides almost some of our listeners or all of our listeners to feel heard and seen, and or to reopen these wounds and to explore,
heal them,
and for healing, because a lot, like 2 of my movies I've watched a bajillion times. One of them I watch all the time, but anyway, that might be my therapy. Everyone's different, everyone handles stuff differently. So
absolutely,
we got a lot to talk about. I've got 4.
We do.
I got 4.
Me too.
Okay,
so
perfect.
Yeah, I think I have 4. I might even have more than 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I've got extensive notes.
6. I have like 10 that I could talk about, but I'm only going to talk about like 5.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you kick it off.
Let me roll it right out. So I'm just going to start with the big one, and we're just going to keep on moving. We're just going to be rolling. Everybody was traumatized by this movie. I don't care who you were. I don't care what age you were when you saw it. Poltergeist.
Oh,
fucked me up. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's because Exorcist was
in the 70s.
In the 70s.
80s? 70s. 70s.
70s, I think.
70s.
And Poltergeist introduced us into that you could be taken from your home and through your television. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not safe. And, Is
Nope.
it a demon? What is it? It's a poltergeist. What are we dealing with here?
We are dealing with ancient Indian burial grounds, which
that's correct.
We didn't know were haunted, and
don't build on them.
Do not build.
Disturb them.
Do not
leave
do
them
that.
Be. Leave them
leave
be.
Them be. Just leave them be.
Just leave them be.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think we even need to go into why poltergeist messed us up so much.
Okay.
I'm going to say messed, Darren. You're welcome. Because it just, I mean, I saw it. I was way too young.
Of course.
Too young to see it. We rented it. We had a VCR.
Yeah.
Went down to the store, got the VCR, got some birthday party.
Carol Ann.
It's just Carol Ann. You know, you relate as a child to Carol Ann because you're a child. They have kids in the family. And then all these things start happening to the kids. It's just like, what? I don't even know. I can't even
They have all this like trivia about and I won't even get into it, but all the trivia about what happened to the people that were involved in the movie.
I know.
All this weird shit happened to them. Like it was messed up.
And in the 80s, I was also messed up by Jo Beth Williams' face just to begin with, only because
it's
as
perfect.
Much as I love her so much, but she was in that movie about Adam, the kid who was kidnapped. Adam Walsh. And so she was the mom in that movie. And so I was scared of kidnapping too. But so I was also just scared of Jo Beth Williams. Like I was just scared.
But she didn't do it. That was the kid
like
from the guy who did the FBI's Most Wanted. He did that show.
Yes, John Walsh. Yeah. I was scared of Jo Beth Williams' face. It just brought up too much stuff. Okay.
Is this a movie you can rewatch? Have you rewatched it as an adult?
Poltergeist?
Yeah.
I have not tried. And there are movies on my list. Yeah.
I have.
And how did it make you feel?
It's scary.
It's still scary, right?
Mm-hmm. It's jumpy AF. So. Okay.
Right.
Well, on that I'll ride that coattail with my first one, which is Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously this movie is terrifying, and it's it scared people to not fall asleep.
Right.
So there's Freddy Krueger is this man with knives on a glove. He haunts he kills you in your sleep.
Haunts your dreams.
In your dreams, goes in your dreams. And as a person who still I have vivid dreams. Okay.
Me too.
And you know this about me. Yes. I have my whole life. I can wake up and then when I fall asleep, it goes back into the dream, not because I want to. It's not a gift. It's just sometimes it's a curse.
Can I tell you this? This is a gift. Do you know that this is a gift? It's called lucid dreaming.
Oh.
Well, do you know that you're gifted?
Huh. No. I did not.
You're gifted. That's like not everybody can do that.
But they're not always good ones.
No, it's just because you have like a really creative and vivid imagination.
But I have to be. There are times I'm in my dreams. I'm like, you're dreaming. Wake up. You're dreaming, and I can't get out.
I know.
And then when I do wake up, I'm like, oh, thank you, God. And then I fall back asleep, and I'm right back where I left off.
Oh, babe, I know.
But
me too.
It's just crazy.
Too.
So with this movie, like all these teenagers are getting murdered in their dreams from Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
Who's like this like dead pervert. And like even the kids are like holding crucifix, like thinking that's going to save them. The crucifix did not help. Okay.
No.
Nothing can save you from Freddy. Okay. Crucifix meant nothing. So to me, I'm oh shit, like all bets are off on this one. And it tapped into all of your fears. Like, okay, let's do a checklist, shall we? Strangled by bed sheets. Yeah. Eaten by my bed and barfed back up into a roaring river of blood like a geyser. Check. Pulled underwater during a relaxing bath to drown. You betcha. So, I mean, and then at the end of this movie, I mean, everybody's seen Nightmare on Elm Street, but like to find out that all you have to say is, I don't believe in you anymore.
Oh,
right. And then there's like 8 more of those movies. So I rewatched this as an adult. It's still
really
absolutely terrifying.
What do you think? Okay, so since we want our listeners to like heal from their trauma, like what do you think that we could do?
Don't rewatch this one. This is not healing. So it just messed me up again. I was like, oh shit, I just can't watch this movie. Because honestly, the second, third, fourth, however many, not the same vibe.
Right.
I've seen those. They get ridiculous. They get more ridiculous. It's all like
the first
scary
one had
franchise.
the juice. Yeah.
The first one had the juice, and it was unforgiving. Okay. It just It's not cool.
Yeah.
Especially, you don't do it. Skip it. All right, you go ahead.
Okay. So the next one that I saw that I was way too young and it effed me up for life was Psycho 2. So not Psycho 1. I've seen Psycho 1. I never saw Psycho 1 when I was a kid, though. I saw Psycho 2 when it came out. Another situation where maybe it was a birthday party or a slumber party or something, and somebody rented the movie and we all watched it, whatever. Okay. Psycho 2 terrified me.
What is
let me tell
the premise of Psycho 2?
So, okay. So Psycho 2 is Anthony Perkins' character. He's in jail because, in Psycho 1, he goes nutty and he kills all these people and he thinks he's his mother and he's channeling
Norman Bates, right?
Norman Bates.
Got it.
Norman Bates gets out of jail and he comes back. And like the niece of like the woman who he killed or whatever.
In the shower with the knife?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, comes back into his life and she's played by Meg Tilly. Okay. Meg Tilly terrifies me. Like, I think I'm actually more scared of Meg Tilly now than I was.
What have I seen Meg Tilly in before?
Okay. I'm going to lead into the next thing that she was in, which was Agnes of God, which she's also in The Big Chill. She plays the young girlfriend in The Big Chill. Anyway, basically, Psycho 2 is just them kind of like messing with Norman Bates and like making him think he's crazy again and making him think he's going to kill all these people again because they want to get revenge on him. And it's this whole thing because he killed her mother. And it's just bad. And it's just, it's real jumpy outy. And it's like a lot of like scary skeletons, like sliding down stairs with like at the Bates Motel. Like,
what's your takeaway?
My takeaway was it was too jumpy and it was too creepy. And I don't like, here's what messed me up. I don't like the thing of when somebody has like a mental illness and we don't know why they have a mental illness or what it's based on. And then like the movie like really over dramatizes that and makes you super scared of people who have these like mental illnesses. Like maybe
and it's
he's
not
psychotic.
Because he was a murderer.
No, it's because they were messing with him.
Okay.
And he had like an issue. He had like problems. Like he was like
hung out with his dead mommy.
Yeah, he was like a psychopath and like they really were trying to terrorize and harass him.
Oh, got it.
And
it's just interesting that they made him like the poor Norman Bates. That's a huge takeaway alone. That would mess me up.
Well, that's what it is too. It's like that's the whole premise of the movie is that like they're mad that he got out of jail, so they're going to harass him until
they're
he
bullies.
Gets put back.
They're just like they're also psychopaths.
Him. Yeah.
So it's like for no reason. Oh no, there is a connection. The daughter or whatever.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Would you tell me to watch that now? Like, should I watch it? I've never seen it.
I think what would happen is you and I should get a blanket and turn it on and just sit with some wine and just like watch it and see what happens because I bet you it's real dumb.
Okay.
I haven't rewatched it in a long time, but I bet you it's real dumb.
That would be your therapy is if we watched it together and treat it as though it's silly.
Yeah, probably.
Because it could be silly to you now. You don't know yet.
I don't know. But when I was 10, it was super, super bad, super scary. Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting to me that it's a sequel for you. That's interesting. I like that.
I know. Yeah. And then I saw Psycho, the original Psycho, when I was in my 30s because I was terrified to watch Psycho because of that Psycho 2. I love Psycho. Psycho is so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Interesting. It's like watching, you watched a sequel that really messed you up and then you watch the original. Well, and it's scary, but it's like really well done.
But it's not, but Psycho
a lot of people are scared, but that messed up a lot of people. Psycho really messed up a lot of people.
It's not Hitchcock though.
No.
Hitchcock, Psycho 1, the original Psycho was a work of art.
Right.
Psycho 2 was a cheap
it's always
box
the
office
worst.
Trash. Yes. In color. Like, come on. Like,
it's like the Return to Oz, which I should have put on this list.
Yes.
Because I the sequel to Wizard of Oz, which is side note. This is just a side thing. The Return to Oz is a completely messed up sequel to Wizard of Oz. It's so dark. It's so that messed me up. I can't believe I didn't put it on here. But anyway,
I actually saw that on when I was doing research for this. Yes,
I own it.
I thought it.
I bought it because I hadn't watched it as an adult, and it's worse as an adult.
Oh yeah,
the Wheelers, all those heads.
No.
Anyway, forget it. Okay. Well, I think we will to help heal you with this, we will watch that together. So that will be interesting. Okay. My next one is probably something you were not expecting. It's The Truman Show.
Oh.
That movie is a story of emotional abuse.
Oh my God, you're so right.
So after I watched it the first time, and I've seen it a bunch of times because I love Jim Carrey. And I love Ed Harris. I get it. But let's get down to the nitty gritty, shall we? Truman is completely alone and has no idea. He is adopted by a corporation. Like Ed Harris is this corporation owner, entertainment guy. And Truman's existence is to provide entertainment. He has no idea that he's essentially all alone. Okay. Right. They even have like a dad, like a fake father, like everyone around him are actors. Like he gets married, like his whole childhood is all fake. He has like a dad and they fake, dad dies in a boat accident with Truman there as a child, and it's all fake, and it's a drowning accident. So it makes Truman afraid of water, which is the way to get out of this fake reality. So essentially this movie is about Truman. Jim Carrey is in this fake world, like a reality world, and he has no idea that he is the only real person. It's almost like that show Jury Duty, but that was funny. But I also could see how that would have messed, and that messes people up. So, Ed Harris is the director, and he's in charge of every interaction that Truman has.
And he's pulling the strings. He's pulling the strings the whole entire time.
None of these people really care about him. It's not real.
I know.
This guy's all alone. And I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, this is so messed up. I get the entertainment and I get how sweet it can be, but essentially,
it's not.
It's not. And
do people?
There's that activist. What?
Do people watch that movie and think
and love it?
This is, but do they think it's sweet?
Yeah,
it's not sweet.
I don't think everybody, but I think a lot of people are like, oh,
it's dark.
It's just like, oh, I love the Truman Show. I mean, I think, okay, so there's an activist in the movie that tries to help him.
Yeah.
And then she's deemed a schizophrenic because she broke in from the real world because she felt sorry for Truman, that everyone in the world has been watching this TV show of his life since he was born. Okay.
I know.
So,
and they're all, oh God,
so, and then when this activist leaves, he kind of sees, he's like, oh, well, something might be off here. Like maybe this is weird. And then he's completely gaslit by everyone
That's what
around
I was gonna
him.
Say.
And like everyone that he's questioning. And you know what? Essentially, at the end, he gets to leave because he figures, he figured it out, and it ends well. And as he's leaving, he says, "Good night, good morning, good morning, good evening, and good night,"
or whatever his catchphrase was. He had a catchphrase. Yeah,
he had a catchphrase. And when he leaves this bubble, this fake world, it's like, okay, maybe he's on the way to healing. But good Lord,
maybe he's not.
Maybe he's not.
I know. Can you imagine?
Who are we to say? I just think that movie, the first time I saw it, I was like, and I hated being negative, but let's just,
well, here's the
sometimes
thing.
You just have
Listen,
to, I mean,
you know what? Look, when there was a lot of stuff in our world, and it's funny that you brought up gaslighting, because my next movie, my whole issue with it is the gaslighting. And it's like, why are you lying to somebody and telling them that this is their reality and it's really not their reality?
And
this is like,
it's not their real reality.
It's not. It's cruel. Like it's very, very cruel. It's cruel. And you're doing it for entertainment.
Yes.
At least now
like
with
he's a person.
He's a person. And at least now with like reality TV, people sign up for that. And we know
but everyone's on the same page. Everybody's aware.
in on the joke.
Everyone's in on the joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even when it's like,
but they know. So what was your next one going on?
Okay, so this is another Meg Tilly. Shit, I just hit my nail. This is another Meg Tilly. So I think I just, as a child in the 80s, I think I was just afraid of Meg Tilly.
I gotta look up Meg Tilly, what she looks like. I need to know who this is right now.
She was in a lot of stuff in the 80s. So this movie is called Agnes of God. Do you remember Agnes of God? Okay.
I've heard the name.
It was a wonderful play and book.
Is this Jennifer Tilly's mom?
No, Jennifer Tilly's sister.
Oh.
Yeah, it's her sister. So Meg Tilly plays a nun-to-be who it opens up, and Meg Tilly is this innocent, sort of going to be a nun person. And the scene is that she's screaming in pain and she's had a baby, and the baby has been strangled and shoved into a wastebasket. And Anne Bancroft finds the baby in the wastebasket, and Anne Bancroft is the mother superior of this convent. Your face right now, you're like, no wonder you're fucked up by this.
Yeah. They put
You've
a
never
baby
seen
in
Agnes
the
of
trash
God?
can? No.
Okay. So it's a really good movie. I want to tell you, I rewatched it last night. It's so good. And Jane Fonda comes in, and this thing has happened. This baby has been murdered. And so now it's going to be investigated, and she's going to be up for trial and blah, 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 blah. And Jane Fonda comes in, and she's going to be the court psychologist who's going to determine whether or not Agnes, she's not Agnes of God, whether or not Agnes, this nun in training, is crazy, or why did she
say
murder
she did
this
it?
child?
Why did she say she did it? It was a demon? Duh.
She said she did it because she doesn't admit to even having the baby for like a long time. And then she finally goes under hypnosis. Jane Fonda hypnotizes her and reenacts the whole thing. And she's like, an angel came into my room and he spread his wings and he, impregnated me, whatever. And then I had the baby, and then I was not favorable in God's eyes because I'm not supposed to have a baby because I'm not good enough and I'm not this and that. And so like I couldn't have the baby. And so the baby got strangled with the umbilical cord because I'm evil, and the baby should never have lived because I'm evil, basically. But the whole time,
What
Jane
do you mean
Fonda's
she's
character,
evil? How does she determine herself as evil?
Because her mother abused her. It's a whole thing. Basically, she's dedicated to this idea that an angel impregnated her. Okay.
Okay.
And here's the deal, Natalie. I don't care if people have their beliefs, but you know what? Don't come at me with this. An angel impregnated you.
I don't think that's a thing, Ange. I don't think that people talk about angels impregnating people often.
They do, hun. They do. It's called like immaculate conception.
I think that's if Jesus,
or
God, our Lord, our Lord above. I don't feel like rando angels go knock people up all the time, and then these people use it as an excuse to throw their baby in the garbage.
I think. I think we don't need to get into the reasons why this is spiritual gaslighting, but it is.
Oh, no. I'm not saying it's not. But I've just never heard people talk about angels that way.
Well,
I know the whole, getting pregnant when that's
right.
Neither here nor there.
Anyway.
But this seems very complicated is all I'm saying.
It is. And I mean, it's, here's the takeaway that I took away from this. I was 11 when this came out, or 10 or whatever.
Did you watch it when you were 11?
Yes, that's another thing. It's like we all watched all these movies in the 80s.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir.
The holy choir of angels.
You're speaking to the numero uno angel right here.
Yeah, we just watch all these things, So I watched it, and there's this terrible scene. I mean, there's this terrible scene where the whole birth is reenacted, and then her hands like break into stigmata, and she's got blood all over herself, and she's like, I had to kill it. Like it's this whole thing, and it's just terrifying. And so I was so scared of Meg Tilly because again, she's a person who has got like a little something going on. Like she's not emotionally.
In real life or in this movie?
No, in the movie. In the movie. She's not quite right. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I was scared of people who were. The 80s was full of these kinds of movies.
It
where
sounds like
people were just
like a Rosemary Baby vibe.
Yeah, they were just full of these kinds of movies where like somebody was
like The Omen,
possessed,
there are
or
always these evil
or they had some
babies.
sort of mental illness, and and like some heinous crime happens, and like some
It's interesting that they
psychologist
went
has to come and
with the rapey angels. I feel like
yeah,
that's
this was
bizarre.
just again. But what my takeaway was, I don't like being gaslit. That was what fucked me up. I don't like being gaslit.
You felt gaslit in watching this movie.
Yes, because the whole time Anne Bancroft's character is like, well, if God can perform miracles, then perhaps a miracle was performed, her getting pregnant. Her cells split themselves and they fertilize themselves. I'm like, no, don't tell me that you get pregnant by sperm and an egg, and then at the other side of your mouth, tell me that some miracle happened and like her cells fertilized themselves and she created a baby. Like, give me a break. Like, don't gaslight me.
Don't gaslight you. And what made her so special? Am I right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, like,
so I don't like that.
Who was she?
No. And so I don't like any of that.
Come on.
I don't like any of that.
Come on
I don't
now.
like any of the thing where you exploit people who have mental illness. And I don't like the thing where you gaslight people because I don't like it. And the 80s was full of movies like this, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tons. I will say this. One thing I loved about that movie was Jane Fonda's hair is on point. Her makeup is on point.
When is it not?
She rolls up in like a BMW 325i. I'm like, hello, dream car. Like, I love you.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Yeah, her on like bronzy, like super contoured eye makeup with like her.
I love that.
Is so good. And her outfits are fabulous. Anyway.
Okay.
So I just got them off my chest. It's really a lot of therapy today.
Well, that's okay. So
that's why we're here.
Do you want me to watch this movie or? Okay.
It's a great movie. Anne Bancroft is fantastic.
Well, she's always, what an amazing
Oh my God, she's
actress.
amazing.
Good Lord.
Norman Jewison directed it, who was the same person who directed Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh.
Norman Jewison, not Jewish, by the way.
Boring. What?
No, it's so good.
Fiddler on the Roof, I've seen it. I know, I watched it with my parents. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Tradition. Okay, sorry.
I mean, I like it. I get all that.
Got it.
Okay, I have two more that I have to discuss. We might go a little over today.
Mine are super quick.
We'll go quick. This one will be fast. Okay, this is a movie that I actually love. This movie, I know all the words to this movie, but I had to, after the first time I watched it, I obviously like Trauma. My head exploded a little. Yeah, but you have to take it with a grain of salt now. But the soundtrack's so good. The actors. It's the movie Fear with Reese Witherspoon and Mark Wahlberg, right? Alyssa Milano.
We talked about Fear. We talked about it,
but all I'm saying is that it was like a Fatal Attraction for teens.
It is.
Okay. Yep. And then what I was seeing, it was like, okay, so if you fall in love, you have to do you like forgive insane behavior? I mean, I'm a kid. Right. I'm like, is this what happens when you're in love? Like people hit you and you're like, that's cool.
Right.
I forgive you. Or
that was the message.
Peepholes got real weird for me after that movie. Looking through a peephole. Yowie. No, thank you.
So scary.
Is Marky Mark's screaming face going to be in the peephole?
Right.
Okay. Did I tell someone the code to get in my parents' house?
I know.
No.
Girl.
But it certainly also, this is the big takeaway for me. It showed me that dads aren't always wrong. So
right.
Listen to them about boys.
Listen to them about boys and listen to them about cow
when you're
tipping.
A kid, they're not telling you things just because, okay? They're not always wrong.
They're just trying to raise you, and they're just trying to look out for you. Your dad
all
is just
parents,
trying to look
but when dads get the grief about and I'm the first one to say, I thought my dad was called Psycho Dad, Dr. No, Psycho Dad.
Oh.
And a lot of it, was, on the edge, but I think this movie, you're like, oh, well, sometimes maybe they also maybe know what guys really are wanting to do and like how cuckoo choo choo all people can be. That's all.
Sure. They're smart.
That movie I love that movie, but it initially I was like, oh, Jesus,
But one of the reasons we love that movie is because it's just so over the top and crazy. Like it's a thrill.
Yeah, it's a thriller for teenagers, which was, I think, the first teenage thriller I had seen that was current. It wasn't like I was watching an old movie.
Right.
So they make them all the time now. But it really like paved the way for like a lot of 90s, like early 2000 teen thrillers that they made.
Absolutely.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. The next one, the next two are probably just, I can just throw them in there. And these are just like ones that made me scared of being scared. Like I started getting scared of being scared. Like it made me turned off to just all scary movies altogether. So it was Silence of the Lambs. I don't want to be scared like that. I love that movie. I think it's fantastic, but I don't like being scared. Like, stop toying with my emotions. Just don't fuck with me. Sorry, Darren. Also, A Clockwork Orange. I can't.
Oh my God. Yes.
It is just don't. I don't.
I know.
Just don't do that to me. Like that rape scene in A Clockwork Orange. I can't even deal with it when they cut her top. Natalie, it's just so much. It's like, why do we have people making these kinds of movies sometimes, I wonder? You know, like,
because
Jonathan Demme and Stanley Kubrick, like, what are you doing?
Well, it was like moving the needle on cinema in a lot of ways. I mean, Quentin Tarantino, people could say the same thing about Quentin Tarantino, but they're brilliant. It's just, you know,
I know.
It's not everybody's cup of tea, so to speak. But writing that coattail of the thing you just talked about, my last one was Deliverance.
Ugh.
And I don't have to even get into specifics, except it is one of the best thrillers ever made.
Sure.
It absolutely is.
The suspense,
but I simply wish I could unsee it.
I know.
I just simply wish I could unsee it because, I mean, it started off, it hit me like a freight train just with the dueling banjos scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Know. And there's
it's just, it's so, I mean, I don't have to, we know the main, we know the big thing that will mess you up for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, my sister and her then boyfriend told me to watch this by myself, that it was a comedy.
Right.
So I was at my parents' house.
Lauren, if you're listening
from college, and my parents didn't have any booze in the house, so I mixed. Nice. What did I mix? I was like 19. I mixed Hennessy and Tab.
Oh, Natalie!
And I have it on. I'm watching it by myself, and it's Hennessy and Tab. And Bruce came downstairs. I was like, why are you watching this? I was like, Lauren said it was a comedy. He goes, okay. And he didn't notice that I was drinking a tall glass of what looked to be just Tab, because he was very protective of his tabs. But anyway, it had Hennessy and Tab. And I drank it, and I watched the whole thing and didn't move. I don't know if I even took a breath that whole time. That's a long movie.
By yourself.
Thank God I had gone to Outward Bound in high school. And so I'm really glad it was after I went on Outward Bound.
You were tough.
Because I obviously wouldn't have gone. I wouldn't have gotten to prove my point to my dad that I can like go do stuff, you know, whatever.
Right.
But
you were tough.
Yeah. So that I've only seen it the one time.
Yeah.
An incredible film, you know, whoa. But we all know.
Hey, let me ask you something.
What?
Can we sit and watch it together again?
Shit.
Do you think we could do it? Like, do you think we could?
Yeah.
I mean,
are you daring me?
No, I'm not daring you. I'm like, I'm asking you
from
like
dares. I'll do it.
Well, I'm asking you from like a therapeutic.
Do it. Therapeutically?
Yes.
Honey, I don't think there's any therapy involved with Deliverance.
For us to comfort each other through it. Like
what? I think it's going to
pause it and like, okay, here comes the part where there's going to be some squealing. Longer.
Oh, this is when the hill people come up with no teeth?
You know what I'm saying?
And like, the incest?
Maybe.
And the R-ing?
Okay. The R-ing.
But yes, I do want to do that. Because we'll do that because we're going to do that with you, Psycho 2.
Yeah. Well, it's like sit with a blanket and like just like demystify it for ourselves. Because like
I'm just so, you know what I'm grateful for right now? Well, let me just tell you, I'm grateful that Sweet Pete won't be ever watching that movie. I at least protected him from that. So when we do watch that movie, at least, and Pete had to watch some seriously messed up stuff. Like we watched Human Centipede. I covered his eyes and closed his ears.
Natalie.
I didn't know.
Kinda
knew.
Natalie.
Someone dared me to watch it.
Okay.
I covered his eyes and closed his ears.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Muted it. It was muted. Because no one, and that didn't even traumatize me because that was just like, oh, this is why nobody should ever watch this movie. But Pete did not, he didn't see it. He didn't see anything or hear anything. So it was fine.
People are not maybe don't understand what you just said. You said human centipede, which
it's the name of the movie.
Terrifying. I've never
Do
seen
you know
it.
what it's about?
I know exactly what it's about.
Okay, well, let's move on.
But I don't want to traumatize people. But
Don't watch it.
I'm ashamed of you that you watched it.
Whoa! Whoa!
Knowing full well.
It was just me and Pete. I asked him,
You
and he
knew
was like,
what it was
whatever.
about.
Just like mute it.
You knew what it was about. You knew what it was about.
Yeah, and I was dared.
Your little brain is. I got your number, Natalie Sanderson.
What is it?
I got your number.
What is that number?
You are a little daredevil.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the one who Lauren was like, I dare you to bounce off the ottoman and bounce up
on this tall piano. I bet you can't do it. I dare you to go off the high dive and try 3 front flips. Bet you can't do it. And I did all of it. Did I successfully do any of it? No. But I tried. I tried.
Did you just about damn near break your crotch?
Yeah. Oh, it was like a cartoon. I crunched my crotch. Crunched my crotch, slid down the side. It was I was like 6, 7.
I feel like
crunch my crotch.
I feel like once a year on this podcast we need to retell that story because it just is one of the first stories you ever told me about how Lauren dared you to do stuff, and you were like,
jump from the alligator patent leather alligator white pull-out couch that we had in the playroom to jump from the arm that just has no bounce to the top of this like old-timey piano that we had, and I just broke my private, but I was 6 or 7 years old.
Wasn't it like a family party was happening or something?
Yeah, everyone was upstairs.
Yeah, and so then they had to like
some kind of, I don't know how you would describe that walk. It was brutal. It was rough.
Oh God.
It was rough.
Anyway, so that's like real life trauma. That's not even just movie trauma. We're talking about movie trauma, but that's real life.
Now it's funny. Now it feels slapsticky.
It's funny now, but it wasn't funny at the time. I bet.
If she thought it was funny, I thought it was funny. I'll tell you that right now. And
at the
people
time,
were laughing.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was just like, I didn't have to go to the emergency room.
I just think of little Natalie, just so cute.
I was at the emergency room all the time for my antics.
Oh, see.
Yeah. It's all good.
All right. Well, I have one more to tell you.
Okay, and then we have to do a stop.
Messed me up, and it was Taps. Did you ever see Taps?
I know. I've seen the cover of that. What is that?
Okay. So it's Timothy Hutton. It's Sean Penn. It's Tom Cruise in like one of his first roles.
Is it a cop movie?
No, it is these boys that live at a military school, and George C. Scott plays the headmaster of this school. Okay, my parents took us to see this in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is probably listening and like, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was going to be so traumatic. I would have never taken you to see this.
You'll know I'm a good mom.
Exactly. And
we do.
Basically what happens is the school is going to be sold to like a developer. And so it's going to be sold to like be like made into like condos or whatever. And so they get wind of this, and the kids in the school, the military school, stage like a protest, and they have guns and stuff. And they're like, we're not going to go. Like, we're not going to let this happen to our school.
This is like a really intense Goonies.
Yeah, but then the final scene of this movie is Tom Cruise decides to go balls to the walls and puts a machine gun out a window of the top floor.
Tom Cruise?
Yes. And he starts shooting everybody and picking off all like the National Guard, and like people are dying. And Timothy Hutton and Sean Penn are like, hey, it's over. The siege is over. The siege is over. The siege is over. And Tom Cruise starts firing, and they like run up into the place from this window where Tom Cruise is doing this, and Timothy Hutton gets shot, and he was like the hero of the whole movie, and he dies. And then the next scene you see is, and Tom Cruise dies too, but Sean Penn carrying Timothy Hutton like down through the square, like our fallen soldier, blah, blah, blah. I was like,
Sounds horrible.
9 or something.
It's
when I saw
horrible.
this, it killed me. It
That's
killed me.
horrible.
It killed me. It killed me. It
I'll
killed
never
me.
watch that.
It killed me. I was like a little girl and it killed me. And I was so scared. I was so scared.
I'll never
But
watch
what it
that.
made
I'm
me
so
scared
sorry.
of, you know what it made me scared of? It made me scared of guns. It made me
And
scared
people?
of military people. It made me scared of too many rules. It made me scared of like totally like super aggressive, like hardcore ideologies. Like I was only little. And that's what it made me scared of.
Yeah.
You know?
Oof.
So
yeah.
that's
I forgot to mention
I
the
would not
Deliverance made me scared of hiking.
Right. See, that's what I mean. It made you scared of hiking. Like this made me scared of military
Just the
people.
woods in general. Like,
oh my gosh.
Inbred,
Yes.
and inbred's going to come out and holler at you.
All right. I don't know how we're going to heal from all. Oh shit. I just turned off my light somehow. I don't know how I did that. Oopsies. Anyway, I don't know how we're going to heal from all this. Oh shit. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. You're fine.
I don't know how my light just turned off. That's so weird. How did that happen? That is so bizarre. Anyway, I don't know how we're going to heal from all this. I don't know how we're going to heal from all these movies that like terrified us as children, but we are going to heal from them somehow.
Yeah. Not all of these were from childhood.
No. I mean, some of them are from...
I was young, so it's like, I'm not going to pay my therapist to talk about any of these, but...
Oh, no. No, I'm not going to pay a therapist. I'm not even going to pay. I mean, I'll sit and talk about it with you on the podcast.
Yeah, this is free therapy. And any listeners, if you want to talk about it, free therapy. We are available.
I mean,
1,000,000%.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of our listeners are probably the same age as we are.
Yeah.
They're like late Gen Xers or like, you know, and so they probably saw all the same movies we saw. And they probably have the same exact trauma we had.
Let's heal together. Let's heal together.
Let's heal together. All right, we're going over.
All right, we're going over. Let's do a quick stop.
The quickest pit stop of the world.
Yep.
Ryan Gosling is going to be in. Ryan Gosling is going to be in the Barbie car in.
He's Ken.
Barbie movie. He's Ken. Ryan Gosling is hot. That's all I have to say.
He's apparently the whole reason to see this movie. He's supposed to be hysterical and he steals the show, and I'm here for it. My gals and I already have tickets for next Thursday when it comes out.
I want to go.
Can't wait.
I can't wait.
I cannot wait for this movie now.
I can't wait. I've seen some of the clips that you sent me, one of the previews.
He's already hysterical.
It just seems like
his hair doesn't quit. I love him and all these pastels.
I know. I mean, Ryan Gosling to me. So when I first got introduced to Ryan Gosling, I didn't think I don't know what it was. I just wasn't into him that much. But then more and more and more and more, I started really getting into his vibe. And then when I saw him in Crazy Stupid Love, forget about it. When he's, remember?
Yeah. That's not my favorite one of him.
That's the one where he lifts Emma Stone.
Yes.
And they reenact the...
Yes. I love him
Dirty Dancing thing.
Murder by Numbers. Even though he has a thumb ring on as a dude with a thumb ring. But he was young and he was dating Sandra Bullock. And then I loved him in Blue Valentine.
Well, I never saw Blue Valentine because when it came out, I was going through a really hard breakup and you were like,
I told you weren't allowed to.
You
remember?
Did. You told me. I do. I'm glad you remember that. You were like, no, you're not allowed to watch that.
Not a good time.
So I've still never seen it.
But he's super hot and he's wearing this leather jacket. It's ridiculous. And Drive, he's super hot in that too.
Yeah. Well, I saw that with Frank in the movie theater and Frank hated Drive with such a passion that I feel like I probably should have. Yeah, he hated it. He's like, he doesn't
own
even
it.
talk.
You can watch it on my Apple library. Can
I watch it by myself in the guest room?
Yeah. You can actually, I'll just give you my login so you can just stay right where you are and watch it from there.
I need to watch it alone, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you can do it all the way from
Sorry.
Springs.
No, everybody just stop pretending never mind. I don't want to get in. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be that kind of person.
Stop. Relax.
Sorry.
Just relax.
Take it easy. All right. We have to go.
Wrap it up.
We've talked way too much. We're 44 minutes into this thing.
Well, this was heavy hitting stuff.
It was a lot of trauma and a lot of talk. And listen, people, we love you all and we don't want you to be traumatized. We really don't. We want I think it's important to talk about your trauma, and
at least it's pop culture trauma. Okay.
Exactly. But pop
Stay
culture
true.
trauma, yeah, it's still trauma.
You'll get through it.
You'll be okay.
We'll get through this together. But I love you, Angela, and I miss you, and I can't wait to see you one day in real life.
I know. Come to my show on August 12th at the Sharp 9 Gallery in Durham, North Carolina, everybody.
Okie dokie.
Buy your tickets right now.
All right.
Link in bio. All right. Just kidding. Anyway, yeah, we love you. And that's all I have to say.
Watch us on YouTube. This one's a doozy.
It is a dooz because there's things happen.
Yep.
My lights go out.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the ghost. See?
Oh, the poltergeist.
It was the poltergeist. It was Meg Tilly. No, Meg Tilly. All right. Anyway, love you.
I love you too. I'll talk to you soon.
And what I have to say to you is...
Namaste. Goodbye.
Namaste, under the covers, cowering.
While healing.
Namaste, healing. Healing vibes. That sounds good. Okay. Bye. Now, isn't that better? Thanks for listening. Feel free to leave us a review and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your shows. Put Your Books Down is produced by ClantonCreative.com.